So today I'm going to talk about how to calculate the interest of your credit card, and the reason I'm going to talk about that today is because I'm not sure how many people know how to do that, and it's a very important thing to know how to do. Now, when it comes to credit cards, I recommend paying off the whole bill if you can by the end of the pay period, because then you don't have to pay interest. Just as long as you pay within the grace period, it's same as cash. You only spend or pay what you spent. But if you have to be charged interest, it can be complicated, and it's good not to get into debt, because credit card debt is hard to get out of because it's compound interest and not simple interest. So compound interest means you get charged on interest as well. So whatever you spend plus all the interest accumulated is going to be the factor of how much interest you're going to be next month. Like if you spend $100, get $18 of interest. Now next month, instead of only paying interest on the $100 that you spent, you're going to be getting interest on that $100 you spent plus the $18 that was from interest last month. So you're going to get interest upon interest upon interest, which is why it's very hard to get out of and why it can be very dangerous. So that being said, let's calculate how to calculate the interest of a credit card. So I'm just going to write everything down on a piece of paper because that's just what I'm going to do. So let's say you charged that $100 right there. Don't know if it is focused, but you charged that $100 on your card, and now you're going to get paid interest on that. I believe the typical, like the average interest is like 18%, I think it is. So in order to tell how much it's going to be after interest, what you're going to do is you're going to times whatever you spent. So if you spent $100, put 100 times, and then put 1 point. And then after that point, you're going to put how much interest would be, like your percentage. So if you have 18% interest, you're going to put 1.18. If you have 29% interest, you're going to put 1.29. So it's going to look like that. If you have 18% interest, it's going to be 100 times 1.18. And that is going to be $118 that you're going to be spending on the next bill. $100 is what you spent, $18 is interest. Now the reason why I put 1.18 for that is because that 1 is a whole. So that is how much you spend. Now by saying that, it's like no matter what you spend, if you spend $90, you're always going to put 1 to represent that 90. If you spend $1,000, that 1 represents that $1,000 because that 1 represents the whole bill. It represents everything that's going to be accumulating interest. So that 1 is everything that's going to be getting interest on it, so that's why there's 1 there. And that 1 will never change. It always represents what is going to be accumulating interest. No matter if it's $90 or $1,000, you're always going to times it by 1. Then you're going to put that point, and then on the other side of that point is going to always be how much, like the percentage of interest. Rather, you have 18% for your interest, or 29% interest, or 5% interest. It's always going to be that. So if it's 5% interest, it's going to be 1.05. If it's going to be 20% interest, it's going to be 1.2. Think of it as $1. So when it comes to percentages, how you know how much is going to be on the other point, it's if it's 18, it's going to be 18 out of 100. So it's going to be 1.18 for $1.18, more or less. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but just pretend it does if it doesn't. So no matter what you charge, it's always going to be 1 point something. So if you take that $100, no matter what it is, and you have that 1, and if you have that 29% interest, or if you have, let's say, 5% interest. Let me just do the math right here because it's very simple. That's why I did 100, so I didn't actually need a calculator. So if you have 29% interest, it's going to be right there. It's 100.1.29, which equals $129. If you have 5% interest, it's 100.1.05, which equals $105. It's very simple, and it's good to know how much interest you are going to be accumulating above that. So just keep that in mind. It's very simple. And if you want to know how much you're just going to be charged of interest and not actually how much the bill is going to be, that is also very simple. Because instead of timesing it 0.1 or 1 point something, you're just gonna times it by your percentage. So if you have 18% interest and you just want to find out how much interest that's gonna be, instead of doing 100 times 1.18, do 100 times 0.18. You don't need that one because how much money? I'm losing my train of thought. But anyways, that's going to be $18. So if you want to find out just how much interest you're going to be spending, just do whatever you spent times 0. Whatever your interest rate is, whether it's 18%, 29%, that is what's going to be on the other side of that point. If you want to find out how much your total bill is going to be after interest, you do whatever you spent times 1 point and then your interest rate. Don't know if that makes sense. I tried to explain this the best I could for people that would like to know how to calculate their interest. And that's what I have to say about this video. Subscribe for more videos about finance and business, and enjoy the rest of your day.